He ran out right after the game ended, and nobody understood. But LeBron knew everything was about to change. The final buzzer had sounded at Crypto.com Arena. The Lakers won 118-112, and LeBron had delivered a spectacular performance: 35 points, 8 rebounds, 11 assists. The crowd was on their feet applauding, teammates were celebrating, while LeBron's eyes were searching for someone in the stands. His usual ritual after big wins was predictable. First he'd find his family in the VIP section, blow them a kiss, then head to the media scrum. Tonight something was different. The VIP section was empty. No Gloria, no Savannah, no kids. But the most shocking thing was the expression on LeBron's face after that big victory. Frank Vogel, the head coach, noticed it first. "King, hell of a game tonight. You good?" But LeBron was already walking past him, his mind clearly elsewhere. Russell Westbrook tried to give him a celebratory chest bump, but LeBron barely acknowledged it. Anthony Davis grabbed his arm. "Bro, what's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost." "I'm good, AD, just tired." But his voice cracked slightly on the word tired. Normally after such a win he would talk to the media, take selfies with fans, celebrate with the team. But that night was different. The moment he entered the locker room, he grabbed his phone and saw 7 missed calls on the screen. Caller Gloria James: "Mum, you haven't seen the biggest surprise yet." The timestamps showed the call started during the third quarter. That was unusual. Gloria James had a strict rule: never call during games. She'd been following this rule for 20 years, ever since LeBron's high school days at St. Vincent St. Mary. LeBron's hands were trembling as he scrolled through his notifications. There were also text messages. "Pick up please, it's important. LeBron, call me now." His mother never texted in all caps, ever. The locker room was buzzing with post-game energy. Reporters were setting up their equipment, teammates were still high-fiving, and the usual victory music was playing from someone's speaker. But for LeBron, it all felt like background noise. His world had narrowed down to that phone screen. He quickly called his mother back. She answered before the first ring even completed. "LeBron, son, you need to come home urgently." Gloria's voice was different, not just serious. There was something else: fear. Raw, unfiltered fear. "What happened, Mom? Are you okay? Where's Savannah? Where are the kids?" "They're fine. They're here with me." "LeBron." She paused, and he could hear her taking a shaky breath. "The doctor called an hour ago." This is where everything changed. "What doctor?" "Mom, you're scaring me." Gloria took a deep breath. "Dr. Williams, from Cleveland Clinic. You remember, I had those tests done last month. The ones I didn't want to worry you about during playoffs." LeBron's blood ran cold. He did remember. His mother had mentioned some routine checkups, but had been vague about the details. He'd been so focused on the playoffs, the championship run, the legacy games, that he hadn't pressed her for more information. The mammogram results, and the biopsy. "LeBron, I have." Her voice started to tremble completely now. In that moment, LeBron's world turned upside down. He had only heard that fragility in his mother's voice once before, the day his father left them in that small apartment in Akron. That strong woman, Gloria James, who had worked 3 jobs to keep them afloat, who had never shown weakness even when they were evicted, who had been his rock through every challenge, that same woman now sounded like she was breaking apart. "Mom, don't say anything wrong. Whatever it is, we'll handle it. I'm coming right now." "LeBron, I have breast cancer." The words hit him like a freight train. Cancer, the word that changes everything. The word that makes championships and scoring records seem meaningless. "Wait a minute, don't miss this detail." LeBron's legs gave out. He sat down heavily on the bench in front of his locker, phone pressed to his ear. Around him the celebration continued. He could see Anthony Davis laughing with reporters, Russell Westbrook dancing to music, Frank Vogel probably already planning their next game strategy. But LeBron was in a different reality now. What stage? What did the doctor say exactly? "Give me every detail, Mom." Gloria's voice was steadier now, as if saying it out loud had somehow made her stronger. "Stage 2A. Dr. Williams says it's aggressive, but it's contained, no spread to lymph nodes yet." "But LeBron," she paused again, "we need to start treatment immediately." "Treatment? What kind of treatment?" "Chemotherapy. 6 months, then surgery, then more chemo, and I'll lose my hair. I'll be sick. I'll be weak. During your championship run, now what you're seeing is nothing." That last part broke something in LeBron. His mother, who had never asked for anything, was worried about disrupting his basketball season. The woman who had sacrificed everything so he could chase his dreams was concerned about being a burden during the playoffs. "Mom, stop. Just stop right there." His voice was firm now, the voice he used in huddles during crucial moments. "Basketball doesn't matter right now. Nothing matters except you getting better. But the team needs you, the fans. Mom, I need you. That's what matters." LeBron hung up and looked around the locker room. For a moment, everything felt surreal. His teammates were living their normal post-win routine, but his entire world had just shifted on its axis. He quickly packed his sports bag, his hands moving automatically while his mind raced. He didn't even shower, didn't change out of his uniform, just grabbed his essentials credentials and started walking toward the exit. "Yo, King, where you going?" Westbrook called out. "We're going to celebrate at that new spot downtown." LeBron paused. "How do you explain that your mother, your hero, your everything, just told you she has cancer? How do you put that into words when 2 minutes ago everyone was celebrating a basketball game?" "There's an emergency. I have to go." Anthony Davis approached, concern written across his face. "LeBron, what kind of emergency? You look, I can't talk about it right now. Just tell coach I'll call him tomorrow." He walked past the media area where reporters were waiting for his usual post-game interview. ESPN's reporter called out, "LeBron, just a few questions about that fourth quarter performance." But LeBron didn't stop, couldn't stop. His mother needed him, and everything else, the media obligations, the team dinners, the championship celebrations, all of it faded into irrelevance. "You won't believe this, but outside the arena, LeBron's usual driver was waiting with the team-issued Escalade. But instead of going to his Lakers-provided apartment in Los Angeles, LeBron had different plans." "Change of plans, Marcus. I need to get to the airport. Private terminal." "Where we going, Mr. James?" "Cleveland, and we need to get there fast." During the drive to the airport, LeBron's phone buzzed constantly. Text messages from teammates asking if everything was okay, missed calls from his agent Rich Paul, a voicemail from Coach Vogel, but LeBron ignored them all. Instead, he called his pilot, "Jeremy, I need the jet ready in 30 minutes. Cleveland, and it's urgent." "Of course, Mr. James. Everything all right? Just get us ready to go." Then he called his wife Savannah, who was apparently already at his mother's house in Akron. "LeBron, thank God you're calling. Your mom she's trying to be strong, but I can see she's terrified. How are the kids taking it?" "We haven't told them details yet, just that grandma isn't feeling well. Bronny knows something's wrong though. He keeps asking why you left the game so quickly." LeBron's heart ached. Bronny was 18, starting his own basketball journey at USC. This was supposed to be an exciting time for him, getting ready for the draft, following in his father's footsteps. Now he was going to watch his grandmother fight for her life. "I'll be there in 4 hours. Don't tell them anything until I get there." "LeBron, are you sure you should leave Los Angeles? The team, the playoffs." "Savannah, listen to me very carefully." His voice was calm but absolute. "Basketball is a game. This is life. Mum comes first, always." During the flight to Cleveland, LeBron couldn't sit still. He kept replaying conversations with his mother from the past month, looking for signs he might have missed. She had seemed a little more tired than usual, had mentioned seeing doctors for routine stuff, but she'd been dismissive about it, and he'd been so consumed with the Lakers' championship push that he hadn't pressed for details. The guilt was overwhelming. Here he was, one of the most powerful athletes in the world, with unlimited resources, and he hadn't been paying attention to the most important person in his life. "Wait a minute, don't miss this detail." LeBron pulled out his laptop and started researching everything about breast cancer. Stage 2A, survival rates, treatment options, side effects. He read medical journals, patient testimonials, clinical trial results. By the time the plane landed in Cleveland, he had a notebook full of questions for Dr. Williams. He also made some calls during the flight. First to Dr. David Feinberg, the CEO of Oracle Health, whom LeBron had met through various business ventures. "David, I need the best oncologist in the country. Money's not an object. My mother was just diagnosed with breast cancer." "LeBron, I'm so sorry to hear that. Let me make some calls." MD Anderson, Memorial Sloan Kettering, Dana Farber, "We'll get her the best care possible. I want second opinions, third opinions, everything. Consider it done. I'll have the top oncologists on standby by tomorrow morning." Then he called his business manager Maverick Carter. "Mav, cancel everything. All meetings, appearances, partnerships, discussions, everything, for the foreseeable future." "LeBron, what's going on?" "My mum has cancer. That's all that matters right now." When he arrived in Cleveland, it was 2 a.m. The familiar sight of his hometown brought back a flood of memories. Growing up here, the poverty, his mother working multiple jobs, the promise he'd made to bring a championship to Cleveland, and how his mother had been there for all of it. The house he'd bought for Gloria was in a quiet neighborhood in Akron, not far from where they'd lived when he was a kid. The lights were still on. Through the window, he could see figures moving around: Savannah, his kids, and his mother. When he saw Gloria James waiting at the door, he felt a momentary relief. She could stand. She looked okay from a distance. Maybe the doctors were wrong. Maybe it wasn't as bad as it sounded. But when he looked into his mother's eyes, he understood the seriousness of the situation. Those eyes that had comforted him after losses, celebrated with him after victories, that had seen him through every challenge of his life, now they were filled with uncertainty and fear. "Son, come sit down." They went inside. The house was unusually quiet. Bronny, Bryce and Zuri were asleep on the couch, clearly having waited up as long as they could. Savannah was in the kitchen making coffee, moving around with that nervous energy people have during crises. Gloria was holding a thick medical file, the kind of file that changes everything. "LeBron, let me tell you everything the doctor told me." She opened the file methodically, like she was giving him a scouting report on an opponent. But this opponent was inside her body, and the stakes were infinitely higher than any basketball game. Invasive ductal carcinoma, that's the official name. Stage 2A means it's larger than 2 centimeters but hasn't spread to lymph nodes. Dr. Williams found it during the mammogram, confirmed it with a biopsy. LeBron listened intently, his athlete's mind trying to process and categorize the information. He'd always been analytical about challenges, break them down, understand the opponent, create a game plan. What's the treatment plan? 6 months of chemotherapy first. They call it neoadjuvant therapy. It's designed to shrink the tumor before surgery. Then a lumpectomy. That's where they remove the tumor and some surrounding tissue. Then more chemotherapy. Probably another 3 months. You haven't seen the biggest surprise yet. Gloria continued. The side effects. LeBron, I'm going to lose my hair. I'll be nauseous, tired, weak. My immune system will be compromised. And all of this is happening right when you're in the playoffs, possibly heading to another championship. That last sentence hung in the air. His mother was facing a life-threatening disease, and she was worried about disrupting his basketball season. Mom, look at me. LeBron took her hands in his. They were smaller than he remembered, and slightly cold. Do you remember what you told me when I was 16, when I was thinking about going straight to the NBA? I told you that family comes first, always. That's right. And do you remember what you said when I was deciding whether to go back to Cleveland in 2014? Gloria smiled slightly. I said, sometimes you have to go home to move forward. Exactly. Well, this is me coming home. This is me putting family first. Hearing these words from that strong woman broke something inside LeBron, but it also ignited something else. The same competitive fire that had driven him to 4 championships, the same determination that had lifted his family out of poverty. Now it had a new target. He hugged his mother, and they both cried. Not the celebratory tears after championships, but the scared, uncertain tears of a son and mother facing the biggest challenge of their lives. Mum, you've been fighting for me your entire life. Now it's my turn to fight for you. But what about the team? What about your legacy? This is where LeBron made one of the most important decisions of his life. Legacy. LeBron pulled back to look at his mother directly. Mum, my legacy isn't measured in championships or scoring records. It's measured in how I treat the people who made me who I am, and you made me everything. He stood up and started pacing, his mind already working on the logistics. We're getting second opinions from the best oncologists in the country. We're exploring every treatment option, clinical trials, experimental therapies, everything. LeBron, that sounds expensive. Mum, I've made over $1 billion in my career. What's the point of having all that money if I can't use it to save the most important person in my life? Gloria shook her head. But what about the Lakers? The playoffs? You can't just abandon your team. I'm not abandoning anyone. I'm prioritizing. There's a difference. LeBron pulled out his phone and started making calls, despite it being 3 a.m. First call, Rich Paul, his agent. Rich, sorry to wake you. I need you to set up a meeting with Lakers management tomorrow. LeBron, what's going on? Coach Vogel called me worried sick. My mum has cancer. I'm going to be splitting time between LA and Cleveland for the foreseeable future. Jesus, LeBron, I'm so sorry. What do you need? I need the team to understand that I'm going to be different for a while. My focus is divided. If they can't handle that, they can trade me. LeBron, you don't mean that. Rich, I've never been more serious about anything in my life. The next call was to Dr. Williams, Gloria's oncologist in Cleveland. Dr. Williams, this is LeBron James, Gloria's son. I apologize for calling so late, but I need to understand everything about my mother's condition and treatment options. Mr. James, of course, I understand your concern. Your mother has a very treatable form of breast cancer. The survival rates for stage 2A are excellent, especially with aggressive treatment. What does excellent mean in numbers? With the treatment plan we've outlined, we're looking at over 90% 5-year survival rate. Your mother is otherwise healthy, which works in her favor. LeBron felt some of the tightness in his chest ease slightly. What about side effects? How will treatment impact her daily life? The chemotherapy will be challenging. Fatigue, nausea, hair loss, increased susceptibility to infections. She'll have good days and bad days. The surgery is relatively straightforward, but recovery takes time. Then more chemotherapy to ensure we've eliminated any remaining cancer cells. Doctor, money is not an issue. What are the absolute best treatment options available anywhere in the world? They spent the rest of the night talking about the past. Gloria showed LeBron photo albums he hadn't seen in years. Pictures from their apartment in Akron when he was little. Images of Gloria working at various jobs, the local diner, the furniture store, cleaning offices at night. Do you remember this one? Gloria pointed to a picture of young LeBron, maybe 8 years old, holding a basketball that was almost as big as he was. That was your first real basketball. I saved for 3 months to buy that for your birthday. I remember, I slept with it every night. You did. And you promised me something that night. LeBron looked at his mother. I promised I'd take care of you someday. That's right. And you have. You bought me this house. You made sure I never had to work again. But LeBron, that's not what I meant. What did you mean? I meant that you'd remember where you came from. That success wouldn't change who you are. That you'd always put family first. The next morning, LeBron woke up on his mother's couch, his body aching from the uncomfortable position. For a moment he forgot where he was and why he was there. Then reality crashed back in. His mother had cancer. He could hear voices in the kitchen. His kids were awake, talking quietly with Savannah. They still didn't know the full extent of what was happening. Wait a minute, don't miss this detail. LeBron walked into the kitchen where Bronny, Bryce and Zuri were eating cereal. They looked up at him with curious expressions. "Dad, why did you leave the game last night?" Zuri, his youngest, asked with that directness that kids have. LeBron sat down at the table with them. How do you explain cancer to children? How do you tell them that their grandmother, who has been a constant source of love and strength, is facing a battle that could change everything? "Kids, I need to tell you something important about Grandma Gloria." He explained it as simply and honestly as he could. Grandma was sick. She was going to have to take medicine that would make her feel worse before it made her feel better. She would lose her hair, and she would be tired a lot. But the doctors were confident they could make her healthy again. Bronny, now 18 and mature beyond his years, asked the question LeBron had been dreading. "Dad, is Grandma going to die?" LeBron looked at his oldest son, seeing so much of himself at that age. "Bronny, the doctors say she has an excellent chance of beating this, but I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be a tough fight, and we're all going to fight it together. Does this mean you won't be playing basketball?" "I'll still play, but basketball isn't the most important thing right now. Taking care of Grandma is." Later that morning, LeBron flew back to Los Angeles for what might have been the most important team meeting of his career. He sat in the Lakers conference room with Coach Vogel, General Manager Rob Pelinka, and team owner Jeannie Buss. "I want to be completely transparent with everyone," LeBron began. "My mother was diagnosed with breast cancer yesterday. For the next 6 to 9 months, she's going to be going through intensive treatment. I will be there for every major appointment, every chemo session, every surgery." Coach Vogel was the first to speak. "LeBron, family comes first, always, whatever you need from us." "I appreciate that, Coach, but I want to be clear about what this means practically. There will be games I might miss. There will be practices I'm not fully mentally present for. My focus is going to be divided." Jeannie Buss leaned forward. "LeBron, you've given this organization and this city everything. Now let us give back to you. Whatever support you need for your mother, medical consultations, transportation, anything, consider it done." Rob Pelinka added, "We'll adjust the schedule, modify travel arrangements, whatever it takes. Your mother helped raise a champion. Now we help take care of her." The meeting ended with something LeBron hadn't expected, his teammates volunteering to help. Anthony Davis offered to cover extra media responsibilities. Russell Westbrook said he'd take on more leadership duties during practices LeBron might miss. But the biggest support came from an unexpected place. That afternoon, LeBron's phone rang. The caller ID showed a number he hadn't seen in years. Michael Jordan. "LeBron, I heard about your mother. I want you to know that basketball brotherhood goes beyond any competition or rivalry." LeBron was stunned. Despite all their history, the comparisons, the debates about who was the greatest, the competitive tension, Michael was calling during one of LeBron's most vulnerable moments. "Michael, I thank you for calling. In 1999, my father had cancer. I know what you're going through. The guilt about being on the road so much. The feeling like you should have noticed symptoms earlier. The way everything else becomes meaningless. How did you handle it?" "I almost retired. Seriously considered it. Basketball felt trivial. But my father told me something I'll never forget. Michael, you honor me more by continuing to be great than by sitting next to a hospital bed feeling sorry for yourself." What did he mean? He meant that our parents' greatest pride comes from seeing us fulfill our potential. Your mother doesn't want you to stop being LeBron James because she's sick. She wants you to be LeBron James while also being her son. The conversation lasted an hour. Michael shared practical advice about managing a career while dealing with a parent's illness. He talked about the importance of compartmentalization, about being present during basketball but not guilty about it. "LeBron, the GOAT debate doesn't matter right now. What matters is that you're a son taking care of his mother, and in that role you're already the greatest." When LeBron hung up, he felt something he hadn't expected: clarity. He could do both. He could be the basketball player his mother was proud of, and the son she needed. The season continued, but everything was different now. LeBron established a routine: games in Los Angeles, then immediate flights to Cleveland for his mother's treatments. The team provided a private jet specifically for these trips. His teammates covered for him in ways both big and small. When the media learned about Gloria's diagnosis, the response was overwhelming. The hashtag Team Gloria started trending. Fans from every team, Lakers, Cavaliers, Heat, even rivals like the Celtics and Warriors, sent messages of support. Cancer survivors reached out with encouragement. Other NBA players shared their own family health struggles. The basketball community rallied around one of their own, in a way that transcended team loyalties and rivalries. Now what you're seeing is nothing. The first chemotherapy session was the hardest thing LeBron had ever watched. Seeing his mother, this woman who had been indestructible his entire life, sitting in a hospital chair with IV tubes in her arm, made him feel helpless in a way that no basketball opponent ever had. Gloria noticed his distress. LeBron, stop looking at me like I'm dying. I'm fighting. I know, Mom. I just wish I could fight it for you. You can't, but you can fight with me. That became LeBron's mantra, fighting with her, not for her. He educated himself about every aspect of her treatment. He learned the names of her medications, understood the side effects, researched dietary recommendations for chemo patients. He hired a nutritionist specifically for his mother. He arranged for a personal trainer who specialized in cancer patients to help maintain her strength. He converted part of her house into a mini medical facility with everything she might need. But perhaps most importantly, he made sure she never felt like a burden. 3 weeks into treatment, Gloria started losing her hair. LeBron arrived at her house one morning to find her sitting in front of her bedroom mirror, holding clumps of hair that had fallen out overnight. I knew this was going to happen, she said, but actually seeing it, LeBron sat down next to her. Mum, do you remember what you used to tell me when kids at school made fun of my shoes? I told you that your worth isn't determined by what's on the outside. That's right, you're still the strongest woman I know, hair or no hair. The next day, LeBron showed up with a surprise. He had shaved his own head completely bald. If you're going to be bald, then I'm going to be bald too, Gloria cried, not from sadness, but from overwhelming love for her son. But the emotional challenges were matched by physical ones. There were days when Gloria was too sick to get out of bed, days when the nausea was so bad she couldn't keep food down, days when her energy was so depleted she could barely speak. On those days, LeBron would sit by her bed and read to her. Sometimes sports articles, sometimes books, sometimes just texts from fans around the world sending their love. You won't believe this, but during the Lakers' playoff run, something remarkable happened. Gloria's treatment schedule aligned with the team's game schedule in a way that allowed her to watch every playoff game from her hospital bed or home. The team arranged for special broadcasts so she could see every moment, and LeBron played some of the best basketball of his career. It wasn't that the cancer diagnosis made him play better, it was that it clarified what really mattered. Every game became a dedication to his mother. Every shot, every assist, every defensive play was infused with the love and determination he was channeling from watching her fight. In the Western Conference Finals against the Denver Nuggets, LeBron had a game that people would talk about forever. 45 points, 12 rebounds, 15 assists. But the moment that defined the night came after he made a crucial three-pointer with 1:47 left in the fourth quarter. Instead of celebrating with his teammates, he looked directly into the camera and pointed skyward, then put his hand over his heart. Everyone knew what it meant. This is for you, Mom. After the game, a reporter asked about the gesture. LeBron, can you tell us about pointing to the sky after that three-pointer? That wasn't for the sky, LeBron replied. That was for Cleveland. That was for my mother, who's watching from her hospital bed, showing me what real strength looks like. The Lakers won that series and advanced to the NBA Finals against the Boston Celtics. But 3 days before Game 1, Gloria had a severe reaction to her chemotherapy. She was hospitalized with what doctors called neutropenic fever, a dangerous condition where the chemo had suppressed her immune system so much that a simple infection became life-threatening. LeBron was in Boston for the finals when he got the call. He was in the middle of a team dinner when his phone rang. The caller ID showed Cleveland Clinic. Mr. James, this is Dr. Williams. Your mother is in the ICU. You should come as soon as possible. The room went silent. LeBron stood up, his face pale. Is she? She's stable, but it's serious. Her white blood cell count is critically low. We're treating the infection aggressively, but the next 24-48 hours are crucial. LeBron looked around the restaurant at his teammates. Game 1 of the NBA Finals was in 36 hours. This was what they'd all been working toward all season. I have to go, he announced to the table. Anthony Davis stood up immediately. We're going with you. AD, you can't. You have to prepare for the game. Fuck the game, LeBron. Your mum is more important. Coach Vogel overheard. LeBron, take the team plane. Go be with your mother. We'll figure out the basketball. Wait a minute. Don't miss this detail. What happened next became legendary in NBA circles. Though it wasn't widely reported at the time, the entire Lakers team, players, coaches, front office, accompanied LeBron to Cleveland. They turned the NBA Finals into a family rally around one of their own. When they arrived at Cleveland Clinic, Gloria was unconscious, surrounded by machines and monitors. LeBron sat by her bedside, holding her hand, while his teammates filled the hallway outside her room. Mom, I need you to fight. The finals are starting, and I need to know you're fighting. For 18 hours, they waited. LeBron didn't sleep, didn't eat, just sat by his mother's side. His teammates took shifts, making sure he had support around the clock. At 6 a.m., Gloria's fever broke. Her white blood cell count started improving. Dr. Williams came in with a cautiously optimistic update. She's responding to treatment. I think she's turned a corner. Gloria opened her eyes and saw LeBron sitting there, still in his travel clothes from the night before. Did I make you miss basketball? She asked weakly. Mom, you didn't make me miss anything. You reminded me what's important. The finals start tomorrow, and I'm going to play. But only because you're going to be okay. Gloria squeezed his hand. Go win that championship, son. But win it the right way. For all the right reasons. Game 1 of the NBA Finals became one of the most emotionally charged games in basketball history. Before the opening tip, LeBron was introduced last. When his name was announced, he pointed toward the ceiling, not skyward, but toward the hospital room in Cleveland, where his mother was watching. He played 47 minutes that night, 38 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists. But more than the statistics, it was how he played. Every possession seemed personal. Every shot seemed to carry the weight of his mother's fight. The Lakers won Game 1, 112-108. In the post-game interview, LeBron was asked about his performance. How were you able to play at that level after what you went through in the last 24 hours? My mother taught me that when life gets difficult, you don't get smaller, you get stronger. Tonight, I played with her strength. You won't believe this, but the finals became a 7-game classic, with LeBron putting together one of the greatest individual series performances in NBA history. But the real victory was happening in Cleveland, where Gloria continued to respond to treatment. By Game 7, she was strong enough to leave the hospital and watch from her living room. LeBron arranged for a video call before the game so he could see her face. "Mom, how are you feeling?" "I'm feeling like the mother of someone who's about to win his 5th championship. I love you, Mom. I love you too, son. Now go show the world what Gloria James raised." Game 7 was everything a finals game should be. Back and forth, incredible individual performances, momentum swings. With 2:47 left in the fourth quarter and the Lakers trailing by 3, LeBron found himself with the ball and a choice: take a difficult three-pointer to tie the game or drive to the basket for a higher percentage shot. He thought about his mother, fighting cancer with everything she had, never choosing the easy path. He took the three-pointer. Swish, tie game. The Lakers won 109 points, LeBron's 5th championship. But when confetti fell and his teammates were celebrating, LeBron's first instinct wasn't to celebrate. It was to call his mother. "We did it, Mom." "No, son, you did it. I just watched you do what you've always done. Fight until you win." The championship celebration was different this time. Instead of the usual party atmosphere, it felt more like a family gathering. LeBron dedicated the championship to everyone fighting battles we can't see, and specifically to cancer survivors and their families who show us what real championship looks like. This is where everything changed, but the story didn't end with the championship. Gloria still had months of treatment ahead. Surgery was scheduled for 6 weeks after the finals. More chemotherapy would follow. LeBron used his championship platform to launch something unprecedented: the Gloria James Cancer Foundation. The foundation provided comprehensive support for families dealing with cancer, medical expenses, transportation, lodging, childcare, everything that LeBron realized families needed but couldn't afford. "My mother's fight showed me that having resources to fight cancer isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. But not everyone has those resources." The foundation's first initiative was building cancer treatment centers in underserved communities. LeBron committed $100 million over 5 years. But more than money, he committed his time and platform. He started visiting cancer treatment centers around the country, not for photo opportunities, but for real conversations with families going through what his family had experienced. One story particularly moved him. In Detroit, he met a single mother